The media world was jolted this week when veteran broadcaster Megyn Kelly released what she described as a sweeping exposé that reignited global debate around Meghan Markle, sending shockwaves across social media, newsrooms, and royal-watching circles alike. Within hours of Kelly's comments airing, hashtags surged, reaction videos multiplied, and supporters and critics on both sides began dissecting every word, asking the same question: how could so many controversies still be circulating years after Meghan stepped away from royal life? If you found this report insightful, take a moment to reflect on how celebrity culture shapes health trends and why responsible conversation matters. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more in-depth coverage that goes beyond the headlines and keeps you informed as these stories continue to unfold. Share this video, leave your thoughts in the comments section. According to Megyn Kelly, the issue is not a single scandal but what she framed as a long pattern of unresolved controversies that she believes were never fully examined by mainstream outlets. In her commentary, Kelly argued that public sympathy and celebrity protection created an environment where questions were dismissed too quickly, and critics were labeled as biased before evidence could be weighed. She emphasized that her intention was not to relitigate tabloid gossip, but to highlight allegations, contradictions, and behind-the-scenes claims that continue to surface from former staff, media insiders, and industry figures. Kelly began by revisiting early inconsistencies surrounding Meghan's public narrative, pointing to interviews and written statements that appeared to conflict over time. She cited examples where timelines, motivations, or recollections seemed to shift depending on the platform or audience. In Kelly's view, these discrepancies fueled mistrust and laid the groundwork for future controversies, especially as Meghan transitioned from actress to duchess to global media personality. One of the most discussed areas in Kelly's report involved Meghan's relationship with palace staff. Kelly referenced claims from former employees who alleged difficult working conditions and internal complaints, stories that Buckingham Palace previously acknowledged by confirming an internal review while declining to release details. Kelly stressed that while such allegations do not equate to legal guilt, they remain part of the public record and continue to raise questions about leadership style and accountability. Kelly also revisited tensions between Meghan and segments of the British press, noting how hostile coverage and accusations of racism became a central theme of Meghan's narrative. While Kelly acknowledged documented instances of unfair treatment, she questioned whether all criticism was being conflated with prejudice, suggesting that legitimate scrutiny may have been dismissed too easily. This argument, unsurprisingly, drew immediate backlash from commentators who accused Kelly of minimizing harmful media behavior. Another portion of the exposé focused on Meghan's media deals following her move to the United States. Kelly highlighted reports of high-profile contracts with streaming platforms and publishers, arguing that expectations were set extraordinarily high. She pointed to delays, cancelled projects, and mixed critical reception as evidence that the public image sometimes outpaced the delivered content. Kelly framed this not as a personal attack but as an example of celebrity branding colliding with business realities. The discussion then shifted to Meghan's public advocacy, particularly her positioning as a voice for women's empowerment. Kelly questioned whether certain high-profile speeches and appearances matched the outcomes they promised, citing critics who argue that symbolism often replaced substance. Supporters countered that impact is not always immediate or measurable, a debate that continues to divide audiences. Kelly further examined Meghan's relationship with the royal family, revisiting claims of private conflicts that became public through interviews and documentaries. She argued that once private grievances were shared on global platforms, they invited scrutiny and rebuttal. Kelly emphasized that royal silence, while traditional, does not automatically validate one side of the story, and she called for more critical examination of all narratives presented. One particularly viral segment of Kelly's commentary involved alleged behind-the-scenes disputes within Hollywood circles. Kelly referenced anonymous industry sources who claimed Meghan's reputation among producers and executives was more complicated than glossy magazine profiles suggested. These claims, while unverified publicly, added fuel to online speculation and renewed interest in previously reported project cancellations. Kelly also touched on the topic of philanthropy, questioning transparency around charitable initiatives associated with Meghan and Prince Harry. She cited publicly available filings and reports, suggesting that critics are justified in asking how funds are allocated and what measurable outcomes are achieved. Advocates responded by pointing out that many foundations operate with long-term goals that are not immediately visible. As the exposé continued, Kelly addressed social media influence and public perception management, arguing that carefully curated images and narratives can obscure accountability. She suggested that Meghan's strong online following sometimes functions as a shield against criticism, creating polarized spaces where nuance is lost and discussion becomes combative. Throughout her commentary, Kelly repeatedly emphasized that allegations are not convictions and that public figures deserve fairness. At the same time, she argued that fame should not exempt anyone from tough questions. This balancing act became a focal point of reaction, with some praising Kelly for speaking openly and others accusing her of reigniting harmful narratives. International reaction was swift. In the United Kingdom, royal commentators debated whether these discussions would further strain public trust in the monarchy's handling of internal matters. In the United States, media analysts focused on celebrity culture and the broader implications of branding, activism, and accountability. Online, the discourse quickly fractured into camps, each interpreting Kelly's claims through their own ideological lens. What is undeniable is that the conversation around Meghan Markle remains as intense as ever. Years after stepping back from royal duties, she continues to occupy a unique space where celebrity, politics, media, and monarchy intersect. Kelly's exposé did not introduce legal findings or new official evidence, but it did amplify existing controversies and reignite debates many thought had faded. As with many high-profile media moments, the truth likely exists in a complex middle ground shaped by perspective, power, and personal experience. Kelly's report serves as a reminder of how narratives are constructed, challenged, and defended in the modern media landscape, and how public figures live under perpetual scrutiny long after headlines move on. Now the question turns to the audience. Will this renewed spotlight change public opinion, or simply harden existing views? As more voices weigh in and responses continue to unfold, the story is far from over. If you want to stay informed as this debate evolves, make sure you subscribe, share your thoughts.